Will Simons was the kind of man most people dream of, the heir to a large corporation, a successful businessman, and, as many thought, the perfect example of a millionaire. On the outside, his life looked like a glossy picture: lavish parties, expensive cars, clothes from top designers, and a house in the center of New York with a view of Central Park. He was used to people admiring his achievements and seeing his life as flawless. But despite all this wealth, Will constantly felt lonely and couldn't understand why. Perhaps the reason was the lack of real friends who wouldn't envy his success and fortune. One day, returning to his penthouse after an exhausting workday, Will noticed something unusual near the entrance of his building. A woman with a small child was sitting on the steps. She was dressed in worn-out clothes, her face looked tired and gaunt, and beside her lay a cardboard sign that read, "Lost everything. Asking for help for my child." Will usually tried not to pay attention to such scenes. He was used to many people around him wanting his wealth, or at least a part of his generosity. But at that moment, he felt some inner impulse. He stopped, looked at the woman, and noticed boundless despair mixed with hope in her eyes. This look pierced him to the core. His life was full of blessings. He could afford practically anything he dreamed of. But this woman before him seemed deprived of even the most basic necessities. Bending down to her, he quietly asked, "What's your name and how did you end up here?" The woman looked up at Will. Her eyes were full of tears. "My name is Lisa," she replied with difficulty. "I had a home, a job, a normal life. But everything went wrong when the company I worked for went bankrupt. I lost my job and soon couldn't afford to pay rent. My husband left us, and I was left alone with my little son. All our savings went to food and at least temporary shelter. But now we have nothing left." Her story shook Will. He was used to the idea that wealth could solve almost any problem, but here stood a person whose entire life had collapsed due to the loss of a job and housing. He suddenly felt the urge to help this woman. Perhaps it was driven by the emptiness he felt inside, despite all his achievements. "Lisa, come with me," he said, helping her up. "I want to help you start over." They headed to the office of his property management company, which handled his real estate. Will quickly arranged to transfer one of his vacant apartments in the city center to Lisa's name. "This is your home now," he said, handing her the keys. "Here you can start a new life and take care of your child. No rent, no conditions, just live." Lisa could not believe her ears. Tears of joy and gratitude flowed down her face. She hugged Will and said, "I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Simons. You've given me a chance I could never have dreamed of. I promise I won't let you down." Smiling, Will replied, "You've already thanked me, Lisa. Now it's all in your hands." With that, they parted ways. Lisa went to her new apartment, and Will headed home, not knowing that this step would mark the beginning of a new chapter in his life. Lisa started a new life. The apartment that Will had given her was bright and spacious, though it needed a bit of renovation. It was a true gift of fate, and she accepted it with gratitude. The first thing she did was organize her thoughts and decide that she wouldn't just sit back relying on Will's generosity. She wanted to change her life herself to justify his trust. The next day, as soon as her son went to the local daycare, Lisa began looking for a job. But without qualifications and experience, it was not easy to find a decent position. One day, while walking around the city, she saw a sign in a designer interior store, "Assistant Designer Wanted." Lisa's heart skipped a beat. In her youth, she had always dreamed of working in design, but back then, her dreams had remained unfulfilled. She entered the store, full of excitement and uncertainty. Behind the counter stood the store owner, a middle-aged man with a kind face. "How can I help you?" he asked. Gathering her courage, Lisa told him about her situation and asked for a chance to work as an assistant. The man looked at her for a long time, assessing her determination, and then agreed to take her on a trial basis. "I see passion in your eyes," he said. "That's the most important thing for a designer." The work completely captivated Lisa. She studied day and night, learning about materials, color combinations, furniture, and accessories, striving to become a professional. Gradually, she earned enough to make small repairs to her apartment. Room by room, she transformed it into a cozy and stylish home. Every corner of the apartment reflected her vision, from the flowers in a vase on the kitchen table to the soft lighting in the bedroom. Will had practically forgotten about this story until one day his manager informed him of some strange changes in the apartment he had given to Lisa. Intrigued, he decided to visit and see what had happened. When he stepped inside, he was stunned. The apartment looked entirely different. It was a true masterpiece of interior design. The walls were adorned with beautiful wallpaper, and the furniture was placed perfectly, creating a harmonious interior. On a small table sat a bouquet of fresh flowers, and in the corner of the room, a cozy fireplace glowed warmly. "Did you do this all by yourself?" Will asked, looking at Lisa with a mixture of astonishment and admiration. "Yes," Lisa replied, smiling. "I have always dreamed of working in interior design. Thanks to your help, I was able to get a job and realize my dream. This apartment became my project, a place where I could express myself. But this is not all that I want to offer you." Lisa led Will to the living room, inviting him to sit down. Then, gathering her courage, she laid out her idea. "Will, you gave me a chance, and I can't just sit back and enjoy this luxury. I have a proposal. I want to return this apartment to you, but not just like that. I propose that we turn it into our first joint project. Together, we can buy old, abandoned apartments, renovate them, and then give them to those who truly need them." Will was stunned by her words. He had expected modest gratitude and perhaps a request for additional help, but not this. Her words awakened something new in him, something he had long lost, a sense of purpose. "Do you really want to do this?" he asked, still processing what he had just heard. "Yes," Lisa replied enthusiastically. "This experience has changed me. I want to help others the same way you helped me. There are many people in the world who have lost everything, just like I once did. And if we can give them a chance, as you gave me, we can change someone's life." Will felt inspiration flare up inside him. He realized that standing before him was not just a woman he had helped, but a true fighter, someone ready to change her fate and help others. "All right," he said, rising from his chair. "I agree. Let's give this a try." The project took off. Will allocated significant funds to buy several old, dilapidated apartments around the city, and Lisa enthusiastically took on their transformation. She planned every interior down to the smallest detail, turning the gray, abandoned spaces into cozy and stylish homes. They brought in specialists to renovate the apartments to a high standard, and then carefully selected those truly in need of housing to give them a chance at a new life. Soon, the media caught wind of the project. Journalists were fascinated by the story of Lisa and Will, a millionaire and a formerly homeless woman, working together to make the world a better place. Their joint endeavor became a true charitable movement, attracting the attention of many celebrities and major business people. Despite the growing popularity, Will and Lisa remained in the background, preferring to stay out of the spotlight and focus on the project itself. One day, while going through documents for a new project, Will stumbled upon something unexpected. In Lisa's personal file, amidst numerous papers, he found her full name and her mother's maiden name. The name seemed familiar to him. He delved into his family archive and, to his astonishment, discovered that Lisa was his distant relative. Their families had once been connected, but then lost touch due to financial problems and disagreements long ago. Will felt a rush of mixed emotions, from shock and confusion to excitement and relief. He immediately called Lisa and asked to meet. When they met in the office, Will began the conversation with a direct question. "Did you know that we're related?" Lowering her eyes, Lisa nodded. "Yes, I found out after you gave me the apartment. But I didn't want you to help me just because of our family ties. I wanted to achieve everything on my own, and I didn't want to remind you of the family drama that our ancestors went through. I believed I could change my life and earn your trust without relying on family privileges." Will was stunned by her words. He realized that standing before him was someone who truly deserved respect. She had gone through hardships but had not lost hope or faith in herself, and her desire to help others only reinforced his opinion. After long reflection, he made a decision he hadn't anticipated. "Lisa," he began slowly, looking her straight in the eyes, "you've proven that you are capable of much more. I want you to become my official heir, not because of our family ties, but because you've earned this right. You have changed not only your life, but mine as well. Together, we can do even more. These words made Lisa freeze. She had never expected fate to take such a turn. They decided that the New Home, New Life project would become their family business, helping those in need find their home. Lisa officially became part of Will's family, and the project continued to grow, attracting more people willing to contribute. And so, this story came to an end. Will found the purpose in life that he had been searching for. Lisa found not only a home, but also the family she had lost long ago. Together, they proved that even a single encounter on a sidewalk can change entire lives if there is room in the heart for kindness and generosity.